nobody prepares you for this kind of grief, because it doesn't arrive with a death certificate. There's no date to mark on the calendar, no casket, no eulogy, no one standing beside you saying, "I know, I'm so sorry." The person is still alive, and yet you are grieving them, fully, completely, in the kind of silence that has no name and no end. Maybe it's a parent, someone you spent your whole childhood trying to reach, trying to earn, trying to make proud, and somewhere along the way you finally understood they were never going to give you what you needed. Not because they couldn't find it, but because they didn't have it. And that realization, that quiet, devastating realization, is a death, not of them, but of who you hoped they were. Maybe it's a friendship, someone you trusted completely, someone who knew the parts of you that you never showed anyone else. And then, slowly, they became a stranger. Not through a fight, not through a single moment, just through the slow accumulation of who they chose to be. And you're left holding a grief that confuses everyone around you. But you too had a falling out, just move on. As if the years meant nothing, as if rebuilding yourself around someone and then losing them is something you simply move on from. Maybe it's a partner, someone you built a life with, someone whose presence became the background of your entire existence, and now they're still in the room, still at the table, still using your last name, but something irreplaceable is gone. And you grieve it alone because you haven't left, because from the outside nothing has ended. This is what nobody talks about, the grief of the living. It doesn't come in one wave, it comes in ordinary moments. A song, a smell, someone laughing the way they used to laugh, and suddenly you're drowning in the loss of someone who is standing 20 feet away from you. The cruelest part of this grief is that it gets dismissed. People only recognize loss when it looks like loss, when there's a body, when there's an ending everyone can see. But this ambiguous, invisible, unannounced grief, this gets called overthinking, sensitivity, holding grudges. It doesn't get called what it actually is, which is mourning. Real, legitimate, devastating mourning for the parent who was there but never present, for the friend who chose to become someone else, for the lover who stayed but left anyway, for the version of a relationship you believed in completely and slowly had to bury while pretending nothing was wrong. And if you are carrying this right now, I want you to hear something. Your grief is real. You don't need a funeral for it to count. You don't need their absence to be physical for the loss to be genuine. Something ended, something that mattered, something you are allowed to mourn, even if no one around you understands it, even if the person is still breathing, even if you still love them. The grief is real, and you are allowed to feel every single part of it.